So, my name is Kate Baucherel. I am a digital strategist. I am also a writer. I also end up speaking to groups like this around blockchain, cryptocurrency, science fiction, emerging technologies, the things that are my absolute passions. I spend a lot of my time chasing two children around. When I'm not doing that, I am generally doing karate. I'm an inveterate nerd. I occasionally lecture at Teesside University. So I spend my time talking to people about how they can best apply the technologies that are coming through in our society, and looking at how the tools can be applied to real problems. I love the technology. The sci-fi that I write tends to be me going, oh, I wonder if it could do this, and what about if the drones were flying around here? But what I'm particularly interested in is, if you've got a real problem, what's the right tool to solve it? And blockchain I love. My accounting background gives me a real feel for ledgers, so I knew what I was looking at as soon as I spotted it. But it is a very, very specific tool. It can't solve everything. What it has done is it's brought some really innovative ideas and approaches and ways to solve problems that we could not do before. And one of the areas where a lot of these concepts are coming through is in gaming. Now, with chasing children around, I spent several years after teaching them how to play chess trying to stop them cheating and jumping their pawns across the board. And what I would have loved at that point would be some sort of smart contract that would say, no, you have to bring that piece back and put it in the correct place. They've stopped playing now. My life is a little calmer. And this is one of the ideas that comes through when you talk to people initially about the concept of a smart contract. Well, what if it could work out the rules of the game? What if you could do your postal chess by smart contract? In theory, that's lovely. But all that's doing is projecting an existing set of transactions onto a new technology. And it's not really appropriate. The complexity of a really simple game, even if you take something like Connect 4, has everybody here played Connect 4, where you drop the tokens in? So if you had a smart contract, which to be honest is a bit of robotic process automation but is decentralized, it would have to work out, is the token that's just been dropped a different colour to the previous one? Has it formed a horizontal line, yes or no? Has it formed a vertical line, yes or no? Has it formed a diagonal line, yes or no? So even with something that simple that we process instantly by looking at it, you have a number of questions that need to be resolved. You have a number of terms for your smart contract. So it isn't really practical as a way to police complex transactions in a game. However, it's really interesting stuff. This is a picture of a prototype that Ubisoft have been doing. It's a game called Hashcraft. It's the little rabbit called Gaspar that runs around on islands and looks for treasure. And Ubisoft, giant of gaming, have been looking at blockchain gaming as two strands of adoption. Can you get people to adopt blockchain by bringing them in through games? Can you get people to come into games because there is a blockchain aspect? And the big blockchain aspect that is interesting is ownership of the assets. Now, we were having a conversation before we all came through here about Fortnite and buying skins and paying with V-Bucks. I do a lot of Pokemon Go, which is really sad. I have a lovely collection of Pokemon here in my pocket. But I don't own any of those Pokemon. You don't own the skins. If the server goes down, that's it. If you forget your login, they're gone. Blockchain gives us a different option. Actually, I'm going to jump onto the different option. I'm going to talk about smart contracts. So, the different option that it gives us is the idea that a coin in the digital realm does not have to be a coin. A coin can be an asset of any type. Now, a normal coin, I can hand over a pound coin and I can buy a drink with it and get change. And I can take any pound coin from a stack and get change for that for my drink. That's called fungibility. It means that each pound coin is exchangeable for the other. They have the same properties as each other. What blockchain has enabled is the creation of coins that are unique, each from the other. So here I actually have 3 of the 7 CryptoKitty coins that I have in my wallet. I own these cats, they're mine. Chestnut and Salmon were the first 2, and their first kitten was Spock. I do love the purple paws. These are unique. They are my assets. I own them. I can transfer them. I can sell them. I can buy new ones. I can actually breed them together to form a new kitty. So I can generate a new asset with the smart contracts that the CryptoKitties team have put into their game. And these are a special kind of token, a non-fungible token, an NFT. You will sometimes hear the reference ERC721. That just happens to be the discussion in which it was actually they were actually created. And so games are starting to look at the ownership model, because I believe I own my Pokemon. I believe that people own the weapons that they've bought in World of Warcraft. This enables them to do that. So there is something completely new coming through from blockchain. And we are, this is an axie, it's a little axolotl. I have a battle party of axolotls on the Axie Infinity. So you have ownership of the assets and you are able to control them. You are able, in fact, to play them in different games as well. So we're shifting from, I have a coin and I can, I can use it to pay for stuff, to I have a coin and it's actually a real world asset. And the smart contracts that are sitting behind these, just to take the example of CryptoKitties, that is creating a game transaction that could never have existed before. And that game transaction is take the properties of token A, take the properties of token B, combine them, randomize them, generate token C. And we're generating a brand new asset using that smart contract. So rather than replicating Connect 4 with a smart contract, we are using a smart contract to create something completely new that we could not do previously with blockchain. I'm going to go backwards because I've forgotten about this. Just wanted to talk about smart contracts themselves in a little bit more depth. Because one of the challenges with putting chess, Connect 4, whatever, is this. We have the number of transactions that need to take place if you're looking at a complex series of decisions, of automation. How long is it going to take? If you were doing something on Bitcoin blockchain, every 10 minutes you get an answer for your transaction, wouldn't you? It would be impossible to have a real, to have a good user experience with smart contracts running everything. We've got a resource aspect as well, because each of those transactions uses power, particularly in a proof of work blockchain. Because every time something is validated, all of those processors are running 24 hours a day and validating your transactions. So we have to be very careful about what goes on a smart contract. We just can't bung everything straight onto the blockchain. It doesn't work like that. When CryptoKitties first came out, it was something of an education for users, because it was the first time that as a general user of dApps, you could really see what was going on with the contract. And what we started to see was an understanding of the cost of putting these transactions through, as in the price of gas. the price of the fuel that runs the transactions. And we started to see that when you wanted to breed a CryptoKitty or buy a CryptoKitty, there was a charge associated with it. And so you suddenly have all these barriers to using smart contracts. You have latency, you have the use of power, you have the cost of transactions. And underneath it all, you have, are you actually coding your smart contracts properly? There's a bit of a cautionary tale here. AirSwap was an ICO that took place about three years ago, something like that. And somebody decided to invest heavily in this ICO. Whoever had written the smart contract for investment had left a hole in it. And when that person's investment went through, they were really keen to get it in the window. And so they said, they set the price of the gas on the smart contract transaction. So what that says is, for every function in this smart contract, so add function, or an equals function, or a copy function, for every function there is a cost. And you can say, right, the cost per unit I'm going to set at this. And they paid a premium to push their transactions through as fast as possible. And it missed the window. And their investment was returned to them, but they were charged the equivalent of $70,000 in transaction fees for a failed smart contract transaction. So I'm coming up with several different sets of concepts here, so just a little bit of a recap. Smart contracts are a fantastic tool. They are robotic process automation for a decentralized network. They cost money and resources to run, and so you have to be very careful how you code them, how you prepare them, how you get them into your system. This is where things like Chainlink come in so well, because they are producing the smart contracts and they have the experience in doing that. But what smart contracts are doing is enabling us to do new things. So if we're stepping from the realm of gaming, where these crypto assets have been created and these crypto assets can be transacted through games, we now move into the realm of enterprise. And we're taking those concepts and we're starting to apply them to business problems. So where I have a born digital asset that is a kitty, because I've bred it and I can see its life, we now have a physical asset that can be traced by these crypto asset non-fungible tokens. And the asset that is currently being traced by a company in Singapore, Demuto, is durian fruit. Who's ever had durian fruit? Yes. It's an experience. It's a strange thing. It is highly prized, highly valuable. And what their supply chain is doing is they are giving each fruit its own unique digital twin. And they are using the smart contracts within the supply chain to follow the track of that digital asset, of that digital durian fruit, from its production, whether that's in a village or on a plantation or whatever. They're recording the topology of the points and the weight and so on. And they are seeing this asset from start to finish on the supply chain because it's a unique asset. They're not going, here's a pile of durians. They're saying, here is one durian, here is one king of fruit, because it is so highly prized as an individual asset. And they're actually starting to work with other really interesting, unique foodstuffs as well, using the same thing. So enterprises are starting to adopt the constructs that we've got within gaming for digital twinning. They're doing it with fruit. They're looking at it in construction for the persistent identity of components within infrastructure projects. And on the other side of things, we're seeing the gaming industry pushing forward user-friendly blockchain applications. They want people to play games. They want people to enjoy the experience. And by ensuring that there is a good user interface, ease of management of wallets. I mean, CryptoKitties then produced their own wallet called Dapper, which takes away all the faff of working out your gas prices and so on and just lets people play the game. And looking at the way that you can use those smart contracts like a scalpel and not a sledgehammer, and do an awful lot of the game processing off-chain. So gamers have pushed the area forward, and enterprise is benefiting from it because it's giving a good experience for the people who are using the dApps. One more thing that's coming through gaming goes back to the ownership of the assets. So I own my CryptoKitties. If I can bear to, I may one day sell one of them. But I'm not going to make a living out of that. However, we have a potential future now where value can be created in a gaming construct, for instance, because you become very skilled in the game, you spend your time doing it. Could blockchain enable value creation among gamers? We see the rise of esports. I suggest we're going to see a similar rise of genuine economic value in gaming. And if that genuine economic value in gaming can expand out into enterprise, we've got a really interesting scenario for the future of work. And this all comes back down to the blockchain gives us the opportunity to have digital assets. Smart contracts give us the ability to transact with those assets and have them move through the applications that we build. And they can confer value all the way back down the chain to the creators. So, in summary, a smart contract is a scalpel. If it's well applied in exactly the right place, it will absolutely transform the things that you are building. Be very cautious with code. Less is more, and get it right. Please get it right. And use your imagination, because we don't know where this technology is going to take us. It's given us something entirely new that we couldn't do before. So if we can harness the concept of decentralized earnings, decentralized applications, the movement of these wonderful new assets, we are going to open doors. Shoot. Yay.
Do you see a point where, well, not necessarily, I think we do see a point where we see smart contracts being used every day on a daily basis, like email yesterday? How long do you think it will take to get to that point?
I mean, the smart contract is simply the way of defining a transaction with an asset. So as soon as we have an asset that needs to change state, so something that moves from one person to another, the smart contract that controls that, it will be very quickly, I think, as soon as that is harnessed, we will see that as a fairly standard thing. The thing is, you don't have to build a whole, brand new, this is going to be a blockchain app. What you need is a piece of software that does the thing it says on the tin, and it can be completely normal software. But if you are able to, if there is a function within that, a transaction within that, that needs to be decentralized, that needs to record the movement of an asset, and that smart contract can be that piece of glue that holds the application together. So I don't think we're very far away at all. I think unconsciously, I mean, if you go into fintech and you think about people using things like Santander FX Pay, I think it's Santander OnePay FX Pay, they've been using a blockchain-based smart contract cross-border currency app for about 2 years. I mean, it's been out there in the public domain, and people don't know they're using blockchain. They are. The cross-border payment is being affected using Ripple and smart contracts. So it's already there. It's just got to be applied in more and more industries as the need arises. Any more questions?